Wonderful. Thank you, Miss Priscilla. How are you guys doing tonight? Well, this is not tonight. This is during the day. I usually do these speeches at night. But anyway, 6 months ago, if you had handed me a crystal ball and told me, Louisa, half a year from now, you are going to be living downtown. You have your own home. I'd have been like, yeah, girl, you lying. At that time, I had no intention of ever doing anything other than renting. That's what I've been doing for a while because that's what I believed was available to me. And I really didn't think that I had access to anything else. So I brought my little iPad with me today, and I want to read a little snippet from an article that I recently read about the decline in home ownership. It says, home ownership is simply out of reach for many Americans, including many families. In today's hot housing market, more Americans are renting than any time in history. According to Zillow, today's buyers have a median age of 40. 70% of home buyers are married or living with a partner. They earn a median income of $88,000 annually, and they're overwhelmingly white or Caucasian, 73% to be exact, right? So got those 4 things. Now considering I'm well under 40, I'm not married, don't have a partner, I've got one main income source, and it's pretty obvious that I'm not Caucasian or white. The odds seemed pretty stacked against me. And to add to all of that, I hadn't the slightest idea of what steps I needed to really take in order to purchase my own home. And at that point, I realized what a shame it is that they don't teach you this stuff in school, right? Like, I can tell you how to calculate the angles of an isosceles triangle. I can tell you that the War of 1812 actually ended in 1815. I can even recite to you the names of all 54 countries on the African continent. That's some stuff that I learned in school, but at nearly 30 years old, I had no idea what steps I really needed to take in order to get my own home. But one thing that I did know was that I was gonna need some coins in order to get this home. I had to put a down payment on the home. So I'm gonna read you another little fact that I got from that article. And it says that only 39% of millennials are able to make the standard recommended down payment of 20% or more. And 21% of those people, they put down the bare minimum in order to secure a home loan. So at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, things are not looking too good for me. But I've never been a person to believe the hype. And so for all this doom and gloom that they give to us and tell us that we have it really bad as millennials, the one thing that we have going for us is that we are resourceful AF. We have access to information. We know how to use Google or YouTube to answer any question that we might have. When people tell us that we can't do something, we figure out a different way to accomplish that same thing. And I sure don't like it when people tell me what I can and cannot do. So when I read all this stuff about why I would never be able to buy a house for myself, I decided to do just that. So I took to the interwebs and I started my research. I did this casually at first. I thought maybe I might end up getting something in the next few years. I don't know, I'm just gonna learn a little bit of things. I'll learn as much as I can. In my attempt to sift through jillions of websites, it got really overwhelming. There was mortgages, there were realtors, there were closing costs, there were amortization schedules. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. It's kind of a lot. So anyway, one night I was exploring the mysterious world of home buying when I stumbled upon this first-time home buyers program in Tennessee. It basically said that I could qualify for a forgivable loan of $15,000 toward the down payment on a home if I met a few qualifications, and I had to take this home buyers education course. I was like, okay, I'm gonna bookmark that. Keep it on the bookmark. And at that time, I'd also been casually skimming websites like Redfin and Zillow, and for looking at homes in areas that I thought that I might want to live in. And I still remember this day. It was December 8th, 2017, and that was the day that I saw my new house. It was just listed that day, and I saw it online. I thought, that is my house. That's the one that I'm going to buy. Well, my timeline that was originally, maybe I'll get something in a year or two, turned into, I have to put in an offer on this house as soon as possible. And then I thought, maybe I should go see the house first. Maybe I should find a realtor. And that homebuyer education course that I bookmarked, I should probably take a look at that too. It might come in handy. So I rushed online. I found a slot in the United Housing Homebuyer Education Program. They had one the very next week. And I knew that I would need it to qualify for that down payment. And I also knew that it would be really helpful for me in just trying to figure out this whole home buying process in general, because I had basically decided that that home was already mine. So the course, I went to it. It took one day, only cost me $25. They even fed me lunch, which I really appreciated. And I was like, bruh, you guys, this is the best deal ever. I told all my friends, I was like, y'all, you got to take this course. Even if you don't plan on getting a home anytime, like immediately or right in the future, it's going to be really helpful for you to kind of demystify the process and boost your confidence. So one of the big takeaways that I got from that course was, first, that I actually knew a lot more about the process than I had given myself credit for. So that was something that really gave me a lot of confidence. And the second big takeaway that I got from it was from my facilitator, Miss Priscilla. She told us to treat our lives like a business. And that thing that really stuck with me in my wanting to negotiate for my closing costs and being able to advocate for myself when I was working with the lender and reading through everything ad nauseum. So I appreciate you, Miss Priscilla, for helping me keep my coins. And so a couple days after the course was over, the house that I wanted, it was still on the market. And by that time, I had hired a realtor, and she took me to go see the home. And it was the confirmation that I needed to know, that this was in fact my house. So after I got some paperwork done with the lender, I was able to put an offer in my home 2 days after Christmas. So Merry Christmas to me. And about 5 weeks later, I got the keys and I moved into my new house. It was the same one that I had been looking at online, and it was in no small part due to the wonderful people at United Housing and your wonderful homebuyer education program. So I really appreciate that. I can't thank you enough for helping me to buy my first home. And before I take my seat, my last word is a word of encouragement to everybody out in the audience, people who might find themselves in the same place that I was 6 months ago. And that message is that statistics can sometimes be discouraging, but they need not define who you are. When you decide what you want to do and you simply take one foot in front of the other, start taking the steps that you need to take in order to just walk a little closer to your dream, the universe will conspire to bring the right tools and the right resources and the right people to make that dream turn into reality. So it might not happen in 6 months. It might take a little bit longer, but it will happen when you decide. So thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, everybody here.